Okay guys, it's Kevin with Earth 2 Mastery, and today I thought I'd go over this Upland game with you. I had to sign up for it just to see how it compared to Earth 2 and what I thought was going to happen in the future with it. It's kind of hard to understand. This little pink face right here that's floating around is my avatar or tile discoverer. You can see up here in the right-hand corner, I've got UPX or UPX, the in-game currency that's being earned at 0.29 after about 3 hours. And I think we'll go look at the property that I have that is earning that UPX. And you can see my total UPX balance right now is 1,238.87. I started out the game with 4,500. I think if you join through somebody's referral link, you start off with 6,000. I didn't have a referral link to join through. I don't even know how to generate one. If I figure it out, I'll put it down below if you want to join and play just to check it out for yourself. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It doesn't seem like it's that much fun. And I don't see really how you're going to earn any money from it. Because it was built on blockchain, and they had properties that you could buy, which is kind of similar to Earth 2. I thought that I would check it out for you guys. You can see I've named myself Earth 2 Master because I can only get 12 digits in there, and so I couldn't fit the Y. But this is San Francisco. Their map consists of San Francisco, Fresno, and Manhattan, I believe. And that's where you can buy properties. It starts off giving you a little bit, I think they're called FSA, if I remember correctly. It was like starter properties that you could buy for less expensive than what you could buy properties around. It's indicated by a blue dot. So if I can find my property again here. Let me see where I was. It's not the user interface, I mean, I know that Earth2.io really isn't that far along either, but at least it's pretty easy to navigate. This thing's all on my phone. Maybe you can get it on a computer as well. All of these green dots are potential properties that you can send your little avatar to. Then after you pay some of your UPX to send your avatar to one of these properties, it just starts floating around and uncovering new properties that you can then buy. If it runs across something like a piñata or something like that, you could get bonus UPX. They talk about having a fiat out possibility, but it looks to me like the only way to get any US dollars out of it right now is that you have to sell your property to somebody else who's willing to pay US dollars for it. And I'm not sure exactly how active that marketplace is when people could just use this UPX that they're getting for free to buy the properties. So I don't think there's really any financial benefit right now to playing it, but then I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people have been able to sell some property. I can't quite tell what would make a property more valuable than another property because it's maybe at some point in time you can build on it, but here in San Francisco right now, if I click to try to build on my property, this is my property. I own 417 41st Avenue. I set a fee of 20 UPX or UPX. I don't know. I call it UPX because it's Upland, so I figure maybe it's supposed to be UPX. I sent a fee of 20 UPX for somebody to go to that piece of land, which was the lowest fee that I could set. I paid my full 4,500 UPX that I got as a bonus for this property when I started. It's 30 tiles. It's also on a tile or block size. You can sell your property once you become a citizen of Upland. I'm not a citizen yet because you have to do a lot of different bonuses and be involved for a while before they make you a citizen. So you have to go back every 7 days to update your passport. And I'm just a visitor for now. Apparently, after a while, you can become a citizen, but for now, I'm just a visitor. And if you don't update your passport every once in a while, or visa, whatever they're calling it, then you actually lose your property. So you have to go back every 7 days and do that. I'll probably do that just until they make me a citizen so I can keep my property in case it ever does turn into anything. And maybe I could recommend that you guys download the app and try to get a free piece of property just in case it does become something. I'm not personally going to put any more money into it though, because I don't see the value in it. It doesn't look fun to me. I couldn't really figure out what was going on. I had to go on their Discord to get some advice as to what you can do. And I still don't quite understand. The people in there did answer a couple questions, but they weren't exactly forthcoming. And, I will say that it's further along as far as gameplay compared to Ur 2, because Ur 2 doesn't have any gameplay right now. But the first time that there's any gameplay available for Ur 2, I feel like it's going to be leaps and bounds ahead of this Upland situation, because I don't really see what the point of this Upland is. It's just your avatar floating around. Now, maybe they're going to have more stuff that you can do later, and then it will be a better game, but I haven't been involved enough in learning about it to know for sure. Anyway, so I do get rent on this little, or I don't know if it's rent or taxes, what they're calling it, but it's monthly earnings on this little lot that I have in San Francisco of 71.28 UPX. In contrast, I found a piñata one time. I don't even know how I did. I guess my little avatar guy stumbled across it. And I played a little game where I just tapped the piñata a bunch, and I got 87 UPX. So finding one piñata was more valuable than a whole month's worth of my property earnings. I am getting a boosted earnings. It was a little bit less than that, but because this first property is the one that I bought, there's a collection you can put it in, which was buying a first property, and that boosted it a little bit. So this boosted earnings that's noted over on the right-hand side is what kind of earnings you can get if you put this property in collections. So for instance, you could have one collection is just your first property that you bought. Another collection may be 3 San Francisco properties. Another collection may be 3 government buildings or something of that nature. We'll go look at the different collections that you can do right now. But you can see if I tap on build right now, it says construction not available in this city. So you can't build on anything here. If I hit send, I could send to my property right now. And I think that I could probably do that without paying because it's my own property. So I could send it to my property. But if I was at somebody else's property, let's go see if I'm on somebody else's property. Right here, I can click on the green property next to me. It's owned by Gomez NZ. He is actually a citizen, so he's tried to sell his property in the marketplace for 50,000 UPX. And you have to pay a little extra when you buy it as like a commission. If I hit send, it's 40 UPX to go to that piece of property. I could hit send, and you'll see that it says, are you sure you want to use 40 UPX to send your Explorer to this property? No, I don't want to because that's expensive, and I have 11 sends left. So you can move your little avatar around by sending to different properties. That's basically what it is. Now, this guy's boosted earnings are 54.65 to 69.55 on that property, and it's only 23 tiles large. So my little property next to it's just a little bit bigger and earns more. I don't know what this treasure situation is. The treasure is kind of like I know the treasure is the piñata, but I don't know what kind of hints it gives you. But if your property, if you go to your avatar, like I can hit the little pawn at the bottom left-hand side, it'll take me to where my avatar is. You can see the properties that it's gone across. This line is where it came from. So it's just floating around aimlessly, discovering new properties. So there's areas where it hasn't been and you can't see those properties, but wherever it's been, you can see the properties. So let's see if this one's within range. It's hard to tell what the range is, but here's El Cardano, and he owns that property. Let's see if we could see what the treasure is there. If there is any treasury. All treasures are recharging. Okay, so there's no treasures available for me right now. Probably because I found that pinata yesterday. So I can't win any treasures right now, but you could see that little motorcycle and the shield over here next to me. And then the shark, those are other players. And they are just floating around looking at properties too, I guess. Fresno is the cheapest place to buy property right now. So I could have probably gotten more properties in Fresno than I got in San Francisco, because I was only able to get one property in San Francisco with all of the UPX that I got. But I figured, if anything does come to fruition, San Francisco will be a better place to own properties than Fresno is. Let's go see. These are all these properties. You could go properties nearby and look for the cheapest properties or the most expensive properties. You could scroll through them and see if anybody's selling one. When I signed up, and I don't know if it changes, but when I signed up, it did say that 4,500 UPX was the cheapest property in San Francisco. So it showed me a piece of property that was 4,500 UPX, and I went ahead and purchased it because that's all the UPX I had. I can go into this menu here and look at properties, and it shows my little dashboard. It shows the one property that I own, that I've completed one collection, how much I'm earning, which is 71 UPX per month, and it shows my UPX balance. If I had made any offers on properties, it would be here. Let's see here. I want to go back in there. Here's collections, because I was telling you that you could put your properties in collections. And I have the NEWBIE collection is the only one that I have active, and I put my one piece of property in there so you can see the little blue star down at the bottom. That is the boosted collection that I have. Let's see if we edit collection. You can see that it's got my San Francisco property in there. The next collection that I could do is San Franciscan, which would give me a reward of 800 UPX and also boost my property earnings, but I'd have to own 3 properties in San Francisco to do that. You could own 3 properties in the one Sunset neighborhood of San Francisco, and then you get a reward of 900 UPX, and it boosts your earnings by 1.3x. You have to own 3 properties on the same street to get into King of the Street collection, which gives you 950 UPX and 1.3 times your boosted earnings. You own 5 properties in the same city, would give you City Pro, which is a 1,200 UPX reward and 1.4 times earnings. You could own 3 properties in the Mission District of San Francisco, and that would give you 1,300 UPX and 1.4 times boost. 3 properties on Mission Street in San Francisco would be the Mission Street Limited Collection. So those, if Mission Street is in Mission District, both your properties may fulfill both of those collections, and then you'd be able to get both the rewards. Pacific Heights is another collection, Russian Hill. So it's mostly just where you own properties. You can start putting them in there and earning UPX bonuses as well as boosted earnings. Obviously, if you owned all of this stuff, you would be earning quite a bit of UPX. But as far as I can tell, there's no way to get UPX out. Now, you can purchase UPX. I will go up here to get UPX, and you can use real money to buy UPX. So you can use $100 to get 100,000 UPX, but you can't withdraw $100 if you own 100,000 UPX. So they were talking about possibly doing fiat out at some point in time, but they can't do it yet. But you can see there's a lot of people active on here, cruising around San Francisco, finding properties. I guess it's kind of fun to own the property, but you go in here and here, I'll go ahead and collect my UPX. So it shows that I've made 0.29 UPX so far. I could collect those, and it puts it up in my total balance. It says in 3 hours I can check back and start collecting again. But it doesn't. There's not really any gameplay. I mean, you can hit the pinata, or you can go in their treasure hunt. I guess you could pay to send your guy close in the Discord. Sometimes they post a picture of where there might be a treasure located, and then you could go there and see if there's a treasure that you can find and earn some more UPX. But you have to spend UPX to get there, and you have to be in their Discord in order to see where that's at, and then it's just like a little treasure hunt. but it's still not, it sounds a lot more fun than it is when you're trying to do it, it seems, because it doesn't really seem like you can do anything other than watch your little avatar cruise around. Now, I could just pick a random property and send my avatar there, or I could just let him keep cruising around. You can only send your guy 11 times to another property, and then you have to start collecting these little paper airplanes. So he's getting pretty close to that paper airplane. I could collect it, except that my balance of 11 sends is already full, so I can't collect that. So all I could do is click on properties that he's near and see it's all grayed out. So all treasures are recharging. I still can't get a treasure. There's not really anything I can do except come on here every once in a while and see where he's at. So I don't feel like there's that much to do. But if you want to check it out for yourself, I will put a link in the description down below so that you can download the app. You can sign up and get a bonus on this UPX so that you can buy more properties or more expensive properties. The nice thing about this versus Earth 2 is that it's, you can get started for free. I didn't put any money in, and I was able to get one piece of property. So if it's something that you want to have just in case it's ever worth any real money, you could do that. It's kind of, as far as I could tell, it's kind of equivalent to the, I know you've probably seen people advertising the Pi app and the, was it B coin or B app, whatever it is, where they're basically just a counting app that's counting up different coins for you. I have the Pi app. I always forget to turn it on, but it's free. And so you can click on it and just keep earning your Pi. And then if Pi is ever worth anything, you would have it. This is equivalent to that to me. Like you can have your, you can buy a piece of property on here for free and just hold on to it in case it's ever worth anything. The only thing that I will say that is better about this than one of those apps is that they do have a marketplace where you can sell for real dollars. I just don't know if it's active or if people are even able to use it. Or if people are able to actually sell their properties on there, because who knows if people are actually buying anything. I don't believe that there's any way to see if somebody has purchased anything before. It doesn't tell you if any properties have actually sold. So that's the drawback there. But anyway, I thought I'd check this out just because I am involved in the Earth 2 and I wanted to see what the competition is like. And I figured you guys would be interested in it as well. So that's all for now, and I'll talk to you later.